ready, they're off for the first. Fair start. Princess Kyra gets off quickest. Quickly takes that lead. Allen chasing with Lady Bastipur out wide. 777 is also showing speed and now actually moves down into second over Lady Bastipur and Allen. My Smoky charts the course right against the fence as they race inside the final half of a mile, and it's Princess Kyra leading them by 2 lengths. 777 right there in second. Lady Bastipur now on the move with Angelos. Allen has faded back into fifth, 5 lengths off that lead. Ultimatum is a further 3.5 lengths. My Smoky begins to go the wrong way. Toughness the Grey has to make ground from the back, then Cola will, and forget purposely running with no purpose at the moment as the field turn for home. A quarter of a mile to run. And out in front and holding that lead, it is 777 now who are shot through inside the final 3:16. Princess Kyra left back on the rail. Lady Bastipur under a hustling ride on the right-hand stick now trying to close in on the leader. Angelos has faded back into fourth, but it is a 777 and a Jerome Innes. They lead by 3 or more. Inside the final 16th, he applies the stick in the right hand, and 777 responds by rolling home to win by 4 over Lady Bastipur. Princess Kyra may just have held third over a fast-finishing Angelos. Cola Will is fifth.
777 scored with a 4 1/4 length victory for jockey Jerome Innes and trainer Stephen Todd. Lady Bastipur, Angelos, Princess Kyra and Cola Will rounded off the top 5. Race 2 was a claiming event for horses 3-year-old and upwards, going 1,100 meters.
They're often racing Smarter Tradition, left at the back early, along with on the inside. That is hard-working man. He'll do his running later on. It is Stanislaus as they go toward the 4. Stanislaus in front of Super Hamia. These two hooked up on it. Just behind those, that is Power Man. Behind Power Man, the favorite, that's Mr. Ambassador. Behind Mr. Ambassador, that comes Smoky Topaz. They've got just about 2.5 furlongs to go. It is on the inside with the lead. It's Super Amia, just the leader from Power Man. Power Man putting a challenge to Super Amia. Here comes Mr. Ambassador in between horses. It's Super Amia in front. And here comes Mr. Ambassador on the outside with Dane Nelson. It's Super Amia still fighting on though, encouraging at the furlong pole. And Mr. Ambassador now goes to and gets rid of all competition. Mr. Ambassador sprinting off. Here comes on the outside, that is Smoky Topaz. Mr. Ambassador beats Super Amia. Smoky Topaz. Smarter Tradition, and completing the high 5, that's Power Man.
Victory to Dane Warrior Chief Nelson aboard Mr. Ambassador for trainer Johnny Wilmot. Super Amia was 3.5 lengths behind in second, followed by Smoky Topaz, Smarty Tradition and Powerman. Horse number 1, Prince Charles, was a late non-runner for race 3, which was an overnight allowance contest going 1,200 meters.
Ready for a start. 6 furlongs, that's the distance. They're off and racing a very good break. Money Monster is the last one to shuffle. He's shuffled out at the back. Laban goes to on that lead. It's Laban and O'Shea Nugent passing the 5 furlong point on the course. Being tracked on the inside by Drummer Boy and Abigail Abel. Omar Walker and Solid Approach is right there in third. Passing the 4. Behind those, we find Big Daddy and Dane Dawkins. And at the back, that's Jordan Barrett and Money Monster. Passing the 3 furlong point on the course, and it's Laban, just the leader. From on the outside of Laban, that's Solid Approach. Solid Approach and Laban, these two come into the lane. Omar Walker and Dane and O'Shea Nugent fighting for it. It's O'Shea Nugent and Laban shaking loose off on the outside. Solid Approach. Laban traveling nicely. Laban in front. Solid Approach, not the quickening. The favorite could be in trouble. It's Laban and O'Shea Nugent going on from Solid Approach. And Laban will create the upset from Solid Approach. It's very tight. Looks like Money Monster.
The consistent Laban secured the victory for trainer Richard Azan with apprentice rider O'Shea Nugent aboard. Race 4 was Division 2 of the non-winners of 2 event for native bred 4-year-old thoroughbreds and upwards. as well as 4 imported 4-year-olds and up maidens.
Wifey Says So, the final one. And we're ready for a start. Off and racing. Miss AJC is the first to show at the back. Sniper Man, State of Emergency. Those are the two left behind. Bossy and Flashy at speed. Bossy and Flashy with that speed goes to the half mile. Bossy and Flashy, another prosecutor, is right there in third on the outside and coming around. That's Stevie the Great. Daytona Bell is fourth behind Daytona Bell. That's Wifey Says So. Behind Wifey Says So, 2 lengths away, that's Duke of Spring. Sniper Man on the outside. Tailing off a bit, that's State of Emergency and Smoke Haze out of it. At the top of the lane, on the outside, Special Prosecutor, Bossy and Flashy. These two fighting for it. Another prosecutor, I should say, in front with that lead. Bossy and Flashy trying to fight back. Another prosecutor traveling nicely, though. Another prosecutor kicking away from Bossy and Flashy. Coming on the outside, Stevie the Great, but that might be too late. Also coming on is Duke of Spring, but another prosecutor beats Stevie the Great, Duke of Spring. Bossy and Flashy, Wifey Says So, completes the RF5.
The Carl Anderson trained another prosecutor with apprentice Uville Pinnock aboard completed the 1.5 length victory over Stevie the Great. The importee Duke of Springs was third, followed by Bossy and Flashy and Wifey Says So. Race 5 was the Independence Day Stakes trophy and had 11 entries for what was an event going 1,600 meters.
Ready? They're off. My Mum Joss steps off at the back after an awful beginning. Ride with the Mob races out wide. Here comes the Boss challenging and gets that early lead. Unbreakable rushing up to challenge. Kingswood is right there on the rail. That's the grey and the orange. Estelita tracks them back in fourth. Royal Aviator pulling alongside Estelita and occupying the rail run. 2 lengths back to ride with the Mob. Congrats Suki is racing on the outside of an improving Tarantino. Isotope nibbling at their heels. Whatever race is next and a long way last, the slow starting My Mum Just. Down the back stretch they go. They make their way flashing past the 5 and head toward the half mile, and the grey Kingswood is on the rail and now assuming a very narrow lead. Unbreakable on the outside, just a long neck away. Royal Aviator runs the rail. Here comes the Bosses in striking distance as they leave the half mile in behind them, these 4 in a tight cluster. Ride with the Mob races ahead of Estelita, 2.5 lengths behind to Tarantino, joined by Congrats Suki now overtaking. A gap of 5 or more to Isotope and Whatever, and My Mum Just remains firmly planted at the back. They've left the 3. They're about to arrive at the 5/16th in the 2021 Independence Day Stakes Trophy. They're coming into the lane, and a Ride with the Mob on the outside has quickened up, and it is a Ride with the Mob now who takes that lead. Kingswood is struggling right against the rail in behind them, asked to make some progress at this stage. That's Royal Aviator, but they flash up toward the furlong pole, and it's a Ride with the Mob leading by 2 or 3 lengths. Kingswood chasing, Royal Aviator running on the spot. Isotope beginning to make some progress, but Ride with the Mob still has a 3-length lead inside the final 16th, beginning to tie up a bit. Isotope now asked to close up with Royal Aviator, but Ride with the Mob lasts and wins it over Isotope. Then Royal Aviator, Kingswood. My Mum Joss has finished back in 5th.
Apprentice O'Shea Nugent secured a double following his victory in the Independence Day Stakes Trophy aboard Ride with the Mob. A fast-finishing Isotope came home second, followed by Royal Aviator, Kingswood and My Mum Joss. Race 6 was a sprint going 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs straight. There were 2 non-runners in horse number 4, Nakamura, and the 12th horse, JJ Warrior.
They're off. Beautiful Brand gets a fair start. Parezo is also running pretty quickly in the early exchanges, tacking across, heading for the stand fence. A Bridal Blush is near the stands and is right up with those front runners as they make their way now toward the final 3. Bridal Blush may just have that overall advantage. In the center, in the yellow cap, that's a Beautiful Brand. Let's Get It On is racing not too far off the fractions. Parezo has more to do at this stage, but they come toward the final quarter. At the moment, it's a 3-horse race. A Bridal Blush looks to just have it. Let's Get It On now begins to quicken up toward his inside. Beautiful Brand left when the pace increased, and they charge inside the final furlong, and out in front it's Let's Get It On, and the wily Dick Cardenas beginning to power right away from them. Let's Get It On will run out an easy winner of the 6th event, winning by 6 or more. Beautiful Brand is second, Bridal Blush is third, Parezo is fourth, Right in Flight has finished fifth.
Let's Get It On, said Panamanian rider Dick Cardenas as he delivered a fine 6 1/4 length victory for trainer Spencer Chung. Race 7 was the Clash of the Fillies in the 82nd edition of the Jamaica Oaks. Horse number 5, Kai Alexis, was scratched at the gate, reducing the field to 11, going 2,000 meters.
Field in line. Once again, they're ready, they're off for the Jamaica Oaks. Awesome Choice, Sweet Majesty and Artesia break on the far side. Catalina is with them, so too Ian's the Lynx. Nearer to us, Secret Identity in the red with the white sleeves is showing prominently as they pass us for the first time, and it is Awesome Choice, the one that leads up. Tested now by the grey Artesia moving down on the outside as they enter the clubhouse turn. Artesia and Awesome Choice going at it. She's a Wonder is kept just off the fractions and racing a very close up third as they now make their way toward the final 7 furlongs. Action has moved down into fourth, moving with a Secret Identity. Sweet Majesty forms the line of 3. She runs the rail. Catalina fading back, overtaken by the pair of Ianza Lynx and Alabica. Amy the Butcher races up next. In behind those, and at the back of the field, that's Heavenly Glitter as they charge past the 6 and make their way toward the 5. She's a Wonder now moving up to assume the lead. Action and bouncing easy in second and pressing just a half a length down. Awesome Choice has had enough. There goes Secret Identity and a Sweet Majesty as Awesome Choice fades through the field. Ianza Lynx now asked to make some ground. Artesia on the outside, Amy the Butcher in between horses. Then we have Alabica, Catalina, and a long way last it's Heavenly Glitter as a half a mile remains in the Jamaica Oaks. They're in the turn for home and they make their way now toward that 7/16th, and She's a Wonder, the class of the race, assumes a 3-length lead. Action and has been left back in second. Sweet Majesty is under the pump but not really closing as they go flashing past the 3. She's a Wonder out in front. She's been on that lead for a long way and leaves the 5/16th about to come into the lane in the Jamaica Oaks, and She's a Wonder will have to be caught. Sweet Majesty and Action and in a scramble for second and third at the moment. Amy the Butcher is let loose on the outside. She's a Wonder leaves the 3/16th with the lead, and Rayan Lewis now calls for the stick in the right hand and asks the filly to really go. She won the 1,000 guineas and she's on course here to take the Oaks as they leave the 16th pole. It is She's a Wonder and Rayan Lewis by 3 or more. Amy the Butcher, the rest can't land a blow. She's a Wonder, class of the race, wins it over Amy the Butcher, Ianza Lynx, then Action and Sweet Majesty.
She's a Wonder poised and unbothered secured a 3-length victory in the Jamaica Oaks. The Ian Prasad conditioned filly clocking a winning time of 2 minutes, 13 3/5 of a second, going 2,000 meters. Here's Michael Cain's interview with Prasad and winning rider Rayan Lewis.
To be honest with you, the preparation is pretty much the same with her. She really likes to run, quite frankly. You know, she wants to run in the mornings. I think our job is more trying to slow her down more than getting her to run every single day, because that's what she wants to do. So to be honest with you, she's really very easy to deal with. We try just to keep her happy and healthy. I think we have done a great job in the mornings. Her rider is on her every single morning, has been, I think now maybe for the last 3 or 4 months, every single morning. So with that kind of rapport that both of them have, you know, I think we have been able to get the right preparation, and the result we can see today.
Wonderful. And I noticed that she was entered in both the Oaks and the Derby, and they had to make a decision at that point. And the decision turned out to be the right decision. No course around here. And she really took care of business.
Yes, I think so. I think at the end it's a right decision. I did quite honestly expect her to win. But again, you know, we try not to take anything for granted. But when you kind of see how she was really kind of, to me, struggling to put them away, I think we ended up making the right decision. I think the rider did a great job. She wasn't the best away, but he got her in position. He rated her well. And the last 2 furlongs is what matters, and I think he did a great job.
Wonderful. And she was a shade slow this ride.
Correct.
I didn't get a perfect start as I wanted, you know, and she walked out of the gate, so I just have to take her to the shortest route, going into the clubhouse turn. I just position outside because the jockey in front of me took the rail. And going to the back stretch, she kind of pick up a bit and go through. So I didn't want to restrain her that much. So I just let her carry me through, but didn't release her to leave the field too far.
So I noticed when it came to the top of the lane, you really asked her to go there, and she quick nicely.
Well, yes, you know her potential, as you see, she have been running and showing us and giving us her best of ability. And I'm thankful that we are victorious today.
Wonderful. So you have won the Guinness this year, your first classic, and this is, of course, your second classic Oaks now. Congratulations, Ray Lewis.
Thanks very much.
Race 8 saw 13 entries complete over 1,400 meters.
They're off. First start. Crafty and ready the speed. Dashes through, gets an early lead as they charge down the backstretch and make their way toward the final 6 furlongs. Above all, links out wide. Ajita in between runners. Green Gold Rush is right up there, so too Versatile Vision. Chennai Express with that group. Attorney General races out wide. Old Wolf has made progress. Above all, links fades back a little bit. High Diplomacy looks to have been checked. Gambler on the outside. K-Boy, they move past High Diplomacy. Roses for L races toward the back of the field. And last of all, it's My Time Now. They leave the half mile and run toward the 7/16th. Crafty and Ready attempting to steal the show as they run toward the 3. 5.5 to 6 lengths in front of Attorney General. Gambler now asked to get closer. Old Wolf is driven along as they leave the 3 and they come toward the final 5/16th, and it's Crafty and Ready. They have to make up some 6 lengths to get him. Gambler now, best of the rest at the moment. Crafty and Ready into the lane at the top of it, a quarter of a mile to go, and the stick comes out in the right hand from Samantha Fletcher. They leave the 3/16th. Crafty and Ready, but beginning to run out of fuel. Gambler asked to close up. K-Boy and Attorney General, they're battling down against the rail. Crafty and Ready running on fumes. Gambler pulling alongside, says hello and then bye-bye. And Gambler leaves the 16th pole and begins to run away from them. It's Gambler and Dane Dawkins. They will get there to score by maybe 4 over Crafty and Ready. K-Boy ahead of My Time Now. High Diplomacy is 5th.
The winning time by the Michael Marlowe conditioned Gambler was 1 minute 29 seconds flat, going 1,400 meters. Race 9 was a maiden condition event for native-bred 3-year-olds going 1,300 meters. Horse number 5, Big Man Biden, was scratched at the gate.
Field in 9, they're ready, they're off. Diamond Star. Leo, Legal Opportunity. They got off slow. Balotelli didn't and leaves the 6 with a narrow advantage. It's held over Ring Charmer. Half a length separates them. Lion Talk in the orange silks races in 3rd. Buff Bay on the outside. Leo recovers and now begins to rush up near the rail. Diamond Star further back and right against it. On the outside, Mind That Cat as they make their way toward the final half of a mile. It's a Balotelli out in front, Ring Charmer a length down. As they leave the half mile and begin to quicken up, a Buff Bay has moved down into 3rd. Lion Talk and Leo, the 2 lions, roar together. In behind them, Mind That Cat. A gap opening up to Diamond Star. Then we have a Bunksy Boy and the Legal Opportunity trails. They leave the 3 and run toward the final 5/16th. Balotelli under a good ride continues to hold the advantage and will come into that lane with the lead. It's Balotelli drifting off. Buff Bay taken with him on the outside. Mind That Cat is trying to close up. In behind them on the rail in the yellow silks, that's Ring Charmer, but it's 3 across the course as they charge toward the furlong pole. Balotelli and Buff Bay going at it. Mind That Cat not too far away to land a blow if the first 2 fail, but Buff Bay has now taken charge. As 16th remaining, it is Buff Bay and Dane Nelson. They begin to power right away from them, and Dane Nelson and Buff Bay will score easily in the end by maybe 5 over Mind That Cat, and then Balotelli, Ring Charmer.
Rowan Matty's Buff Bay with jockey Dane Nelson aboard secured the win by 4.5 lengths over Mind That Cat. Balotelli, Ring Charmer and Lion Talk completed the top 5. Race 10 was the big one. The 101st edition of the Jamaica Derby. The recalibrated calculus took aim at securing the Derby following a handsome victory in the St. Ledger. Was it to be? Let's have a look at how the final leg of the Triple Crown Series unfolded.
For the 101st running of the Jamaica Derby, presented by BetMakers. 1.5 miles ahead of them, they're off for the Derby. Calculus gets a good start on the far side, so too Santorini. E&I Lynx is right up with those. Further and Beyond is also traveling powerfully in the early exchanges as they've covered the first furlong and begin to sort themselves out. E&I Lynx in the red, just beginning to drift down toward the rail, looks to have the overall lead. Billy Whiz is moving closer. Further and Beyond, without the visor, is traveling smoothly at this stage as they pass the furlong pole for the first time. On the rail, Calculus may just be squeezed for a bit of space, getting out into an opening now as E&I Lynx leads them past us for the first time under a tight rein. Calculus in second, just over Regal and Royal. Santorini right on their heels. Billy Whiz is the one racing out wide. Further and Beyond taking the widest route as they enter that clubhouse turn and arrive at the mile. E&I Lynx leading up. Calculus a length down on the rail. Regal and Royal moving closer. There goes a Billy Whiz. Further and Beyond kept to the outside for racing room. Santorini is right against the rail, being blocked in at the moment. Big Jewel is close enough, just about 5 lengths off that lead. Moneyman is a further 4 lengths in behind them. Daddy Jones is next. And last of all, it's a Positive ID. On the back stretch, they arrive at the 6. Further and Beyond now snatches that lead. E&I Lynx staying with him. Calculus is there. Billy Whiz and Big Jewel. These form a very tight bunch on the run to the 5. Santorini watches them just about 4 lengths off the lead. Regal and Royal is faded back a bit. Then Daddy Jones, a Moneyman as the back markers string out, and Positive ID remains last. They've left the 5. They run toward the half mile, and it is a Calculus now moving up to test Further and Beyond. Big Jewel breathing down the necks as they run into that turn, and the tempo will now increase, and Further and Beyond tries to kick away, but Calculus hanging on to his coattails. Big Jewel is right there in 3rd spot. Billy Whiz now wound up for a run in 4th. Behind them a gap opens to Santorini as they've left the 3. The rest seem hopeless at this stage as they're about to flash past the 5/16th. It's Further and Beyond and Magnificent Day Nelson, who turned for home in the 2021 Jamaica Derby. A quarter of a mile to go. Further and Beyond continues to hold that lead. Calculus is over on the rail. Billy Whiz now set alight on the outside. Further and Beyond getting the stick in the left hand as they arrive at the furlong pole quickly. Dane snatches it into the right. Here is a Billy Whiz kicking it on the outside. Further and Beyond beginning to tie up Billy Whiz. Calculus coming once again. Calculus now points close home, and the Ledger winner takes the Derby over Billy Whiz. Then Further and Beyond. Big Jewel is next ahead of Santorini.
A stunning ride by jockey Shane Ellis saw Calculus explode in deep stretch to win by a neck ahead of Billy Whiz. Further and Beyond, after threatening for much of the home stretch, finished in 3rd, followed by Big Jewel and Santorini. Here's Michael Cain's interview with jockey Ellis, trainer Gary Subrati, and Trinidadian owner Shivan Maharaj.
It was indeed a very big win. I'd like to say thank God first of all, because it was almost a miracle that he got back to the horses there to win this race.
Yes, he was left in 3rd by a quick move from Further and Beyond, and then another quick move from Billy Whiz. And the jockey Shane Ellis, though, really got down to serious time and rallied and beat them all in the stretch run there. What was going through your mind at the top of the lane when Calculus was passed by Further and Beyond?
At the top of the lane, honestly, I thought he was beaten. I could not imagine that Shane was able to get some extra out of him to get back to the horses in front. All credit to him for a fantastic ride.
Great ride, and as well a great training job by Gary Subrati. This is 2 wins from 2 starts with your new trainer Gary Subrati, and 2 classic wins as well.
Definitely, Gary has done an amazing job with him, and hats off to him and the entire team. I would also like to make special mention and thank my dad, because he was the person that was really responsible for the purchase of this horse.
Wonderful. Congratulations once again, Shivan Maharaj, and we look forward to Calculus winning some more big races.
Thanks again.
It was a good ride. The pressure me.
Take us through the race. You were drawn post 1. You got a sharp enough break, and you had to keep position on the inside all the way through the journey.
Yeah, I got a sharp break, but the break that I wanted, I didn't get it. I was out in front second. Can't do anything else. I can't take him back because I just wanted to get him relaxed. And there goes number 4, come on, pin me down. Rest I asked them, kind of pin me down. So it's up to me now to either go forward or take back. And in a race like this, you don't want to take back. You just want to be there, right there. I end up second, can't do anything about it. So I'm getting relaxed, and when I asked him to move, he moved.
Yes, and when he moved, noticeably further and beyond, moved as well. And there's also Billy Wiz that made a sharp move, and you're left in third.
Yeah.
At the top of the hill, looked like you weren't gonna beat them.
It wasn't me moving. It was further and beyond move. So I had to go with him. But I thought it was Billy Wiz because it has a similar colors, but I wasn't thinking it was further and beyond. So I was there, and then riding a good race. He had me pinned down there. I wanted to come off, I can't come off, so I had to just be there riding, keep on moving my ass, keeping my ass to the floor until when he passed me. I wanted to come off. Now when I come off and see daylight, I come running, but then Dick was there on my outside, and Dick get a first one on me. So I had to shake up my ass and let him know that the job is not done.
Job is not done. And then you're in between, close quarters, and you really had to muscle your way through there.
I had to bustle my way through and show them that big man a big man.
He had a rough passage. He got bumped around going into the first turn. We didn't really want to be on the rail because the rail was a little slow. So I know he had a lot more work to do. At the 2 furlong, I was a little worried because further and beyond went on. And then he started to step off the rail and come out and got squeezed. We got a little tight. The passage was getting tight. But Shane did his job, and that's what we wanted.
Yes, definitely did a very big job there. And you yourself, a big job as a trainer as well. Very proud of you, Gary. And
Thank you
keep
very
up the
much.
great job.
Yeah, man, thanks.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Race 11 was the final contest of an eventful day. It saw 12 thoroughbreds going 1,300 meters.
Now they're up. Fake comes out at the back. I Am Fred took off quickly, so too Baton Rouge. Taurus Boy is prompting the pace along with JJ the Striker. Pretty Cash races on the rail now, asked to go after the front. Rising Saint coming in between horses. I Am Fred backed off the speed on the outside. Atonement looks for ground in between them. Old King Cole races up next. King's Magician a further 2 lengths in behind and running the rail, joined by King Anthelu. A gap opens up to It's a Boy, and the slow start of Fake yet to recover. They've left the half mile. 7/16 of a mile remaining in the 11th and final, and Baton Rouge guides them along, slipping away by some 2.5 lengths. As they charge past the 3 and make their way toward the 5/16th, I Am Fred now begins to quicken up. JJ the Striker fading back into 3rd. Taurus Boy is the one down against the rail as the field comes thundering into the lane. Can they catch this Baton Rouge? I Am Fred now will try to do it, put to the left-hand stick, but beginning to drift out a bit wide as Baton Rouge runs straight and true over against the rail. I Am Fred trying his best now to close the gap and seems to be doing it slowly. As they're inside the final furlong, it is Baton Rouge under a maximum drive. I Am Fred comes a calling, and I Am Fred points the nose in front. Baton Rouge is fighting back on the rail. It's close. I Am Fred beats Baton Rouge. It's a Boy's 3rd. King Anthelu is 4th. Could be King's Magician just over Rising Saint for 5th.
A 1-2-3 finish for trainer Jason DaCosta. Victory went to the importee I Am Fred with jockey Philip Parchment aboard. Baton Rouge, partnered by leading rider Anthony Thomas, secured 2nd, while 3rd went to It's a Boy, ridden by apprentice Kierman McGregor. As we close out the highlights package for Saturday, August 7, it was a memorable day for the connections of She's a Wonder, who reigned supreme among fillies, having secured the Jamaica Oaks, and Calculus, who handed jockey Shane Ellis his 6th Derby victory, and trainer Gary Subrati.